I'm listening to the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've also read his book, You Are the Placebo. And in both books, he mentions a study that scientists did with a group of people. One group, but there's two groups of people. They both went and took piano lessons once a week. And then one group had to physically practice on the piano until their next lesson. The other group couldn't practice physically. All they could do was practice in their mind. So literally laying there thinking about how their fingers were supposed to go to play the song, where their fingers are supposed to go. I can't remember how long the study was, but when the study was done, it showed that the people that took the weekly lesson but just did practicing in their minds and with their fingers knew just as much or more. They were able to play the piano as much or more than the people that practice physically. As a scientist, so he's talking about how this creates, you need new neurons to fire in your brain. You need to be learning new things. You need to be implementing in your thoughts these new things. And so like even the Bible says, the mind of a man plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. And it's not saying the Lord doesn't want you to plan your way. He knows in our minds, that's where the magic happens. That's where the dreams come. And when we're talking about boundaries, when we're talking about changing ourselves, we are reading the things on Instagram, we're reading the books, we are taking the courses, but we also need to marinate on what we're learning. We need to be thinking about, okay, if this situation arises, how do I, in my new body, in my new mind, handle these situations differently than I did in the past, and continue to, even in practice, physical practice, yes, but also marinate on those things. I tell my kids this all the time. Georgia June with gymnastics, Hudson with baseball. When they go to bed at night, I'm like, hey, here are the things you really want to do. Also practice physically, but practice them in your brain. Georgia June, think about how it feels to get your back handspring. Think about how it feels physically. Think about how it feels emotionally. Hudson, and he does this really well. I've been really working on him since he was a little kid. He goes to bed at night and he thinks before he goes to bed, he's like embodying how it feels to hit that home run and how it feels to do that diving catch that he knows how to do, and then to throw it to first and get the second out. You know, he's feeling that, and Georgia June's feeling what it feels like to have that success. And we need to be doing that in our other lives too. Feel what it feels like to be that mom that doesn't slam doors and that comes in with good energy. Feel what it feels like to go to those family functions when it is peaceful and loving and not tumultuous, along with physically practicing.